Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause I'm not gonna have Metro S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the ground.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Now, I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast and, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like, you dislike, or you just want to go ahead, leave a quick take on our voicemail line, do that. Hit us up, 219-413-9405. And of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. And then shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off of your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but you better go to one of these games, use that promo code, create that account, save yourself $20. Now, in the meantime, we got a lot of good football coming up. So with the football world happening right now, this is the conference games. I gave you the recap on those divisional round games. Pretty good. So at this point, we know we have the New England Patriots playing the Denver Broncos in Denver. And we also have the LA Rams playing the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. So to kind of break down some of these matchups, I really want to start with this whole Patriots-Broncos game because I kind of got to get something off my chest in this game. Just a little bit. I'm a little disturbed. Now, obviously, both of these teams are scorching hot right now. Broncos are scorching hot. Won 14 out of their last 15 games. Patriots won 15 out of their last 16 games. These teams are scorching hot. That's without a single doubt. But in this matchup between the Patriots and the Broncos, I'm going with the Denver Broncos to win this game. And yes, I know that they don't have Bo Nix playing and they got Jarrett Stidham. He's going to be the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. And I understand that. But this wouldn't be the first time that a backup quarterback has won a big game in the playoffs for a team. This wouldn't be the first time that a team has won a game based on purely defense. So I have a lot of faith in that. And it's not just because of the quarterback situation. I just genuinely don't think the New England Patriots are that good of a football team. When I'm watching them play every single week in the NFL, they haven't been playing that good of football. I'm looking at them and I think Stidham can honestly take down this New England Patriots team. Yes, I know the Patriots defense is good, and I'm not saying the Patriots are trash at football or anything like that. But what I'm seeing here is a very subpar Patriots team that's getting a lot of praise for the defense bailing them out of situations. And particularly, Drake May is the one that's getting bailed out in a lot of these situations because I haven't been impressed by Drake May a lot of times. And honestly, I ain't been impressed by Drake May this entire postseason because, in fact, he's being saved by this awesome Patriots defense week after week. And a large majority of the season, honestly, a lot of those wins during the season was because of that Patriots defense. So in the past two games, just looking at the playoffs of what Drake May has done, in the past two games, he's been sacked 10 times. 10 times in the past two games. Only ferocious defense he went against was the Texans, and they tore him apart. But against that game against the Chargers in the wild card round, the Chargers demolished Drake May. They sacked him 5 times, and he also threw an interception. Then he turned around to go play the Texans, and they just buried him. They sacked him 5 times, forced 4 fumbles. He lost 2 of them, and he also threw an interception. He was awful in that game against the Texans, and he's been awful all playoffs, honestly. And the only thing that's been bailing him out and why he's been winning these games is because he hasn't played a solid offense yet. Because I'll tell you what, in that game against the Texans, when I was watching that, I didn't know who was worse between C.J. Stroud and Drake May. Every time I thought, oh man, Drake May is playing awful, he gonna mess around and lose this game, I see C.J. Stroud step in and say, no, I want to lose this game. I'm gonna throw another interception. So it was the battle of ass, honestly. Let's just call it for what it is. It was the battle of ass offensively, and in particularly comparing this back to the Denver Broncos. Yes, I know the Broncos don't have Bo Nix right now, so they're not going to be 100%, but I believe Stidham can get it done. I really think Stidham can like make something happen in terms of being able to keep somewhat of a decent offense out there for the Denver Broncos, because he hasn't played since 2023 in terms of starting the game or even just substituting in and getting some reps. So it's been a long time since he's actually had some in-game reps. But when he was there, his last 2 games, which was in 2023, he did throw for over 220 yards and 1 passing TD in each of those games. And that might just be enough for this Denver Broncos team to actually get over the hump and beat the Patriots, because I just can't wait to see the Patriots play a legitimate team, man. I can't wait. And I truthfully feel like so here's the thing. It's genuinely no surprise. To me, I kind of look at this in the aspect of it's no surprise that the Patriots have been in the worst games of all playoff rounds. In the first round against the Chargers, they had the worst game. It was an absolute dud. The game was terrible. And then the following week against the Texans, absolute dud in the divisional game. They played in all bad games, and not just the Patriots have been bad. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying any game they're in, I don't get to watch good football. I haven't been able to watch them play good football. It's been sloppy. It's been a lot of turnovers. It's been a lot of flags. It's just been all over the place in these games that they've played, and I don't think that's a coincidence. So now that the Patriots are playing the Denver Broncos team, who is clearly a solid defense, the offense is pretty decent as well. They went toe-to-toe against the Buffalo Bills. I think the Broncos is definitely going to win this game. And like I look at furthermore, another aspect, I can't see the Patriots being able to score efficiently when they need to. As soon as the Patriots are in a situation where they're going to have to score in order to win a ball game, I doubt that will happen. I doubt they will win that ball game. And the Texans already made the Patriots struggle, and you're playing the next best thing outside of the Patriots defense, which is the Denver Broncos. I'm sure the Denver Broncos are going to make them struggle, because the Patriots had 28 points last week. Don't let that point total fool you just yet. But the offense had 1 red zone trip. The defense is what kept the Patriots in competition all night long. The defense is what kept them in great field position all night long. But yet the offense still continued to struggle. They were 3 for 15 on third down conversions, 4 fumbles, 1 interception. Like, had CJ Stroud not turned the ball over 4 times himself, they should have and probably could have won that football game. Not saying that, Patriots are bad or whatever, but I'm just not impressed by the Patriots is all I'm saying here. So it's insane, because Drake May and CJ Stroud arguably had an equally terrible game, but yet Drake May's bad game was covered up because of how good the defense is with the Patriots and how bad CJ Stroud was playing. So, I'm just not really convinced here. I'm not convinced that the Patriots are going to really be able to do this. And I think they had a great run, especially for a first round or a new coach and all of these things that done happen. Great run for the New England Patriots. But let's be honest, man, they've kind of had the easy way out. Won all season, easiest schedule in the NFL. Then you get to the postseason, you play a bunch of teams that have a bad offense and can't get anything going. Not to discredit the Patriots defense, they are good, but they're not that damn good to force 4 turnovers from CJ Stroud. Not that damn good. Nah, we're not doing that. Not doing that. So I'm not convinced, man. I'm not convinced. I look at it too. So let's move to the other conference, because there are a couple of other teams there, and I don't want to spend too much time on one, but it's funny to me that I see the AFC and the NFC here. The divisions are just completely different. The AFC, the competition in the AFC is like junior varsity. Actually, that's disrespectful to those junior varsity teams. The competition in the AFC is like the freshman football team, and the competition in the NFC is like the varsity team. Like it's a huge difference in level of competition right now, because with the Rams had to go through playing the Bears, extremely crazy game, just battling down to the wire. And then obviously I know the Seahawks just smacked up the 49ers, but the Seahawks have been dogs all year, and they haven't had that super easy schedule like a lot of teams in the AFC who are in this final round, had. So I just look at it like, man, the competition is way, way off right now. And it's funny because truly, I genuinely think whatever team is in the NFC and goes advance to the Super Bowl, they will end up beating either the Broncos or the New England Patriots. I just see it happening. And granted, if the Patriots go to the Super Bowl and they get popped, I would be content with that happening as well. I wouldn't even be mad. But bigger picture here, Seahawks, Rams, it's in Seattle. I'm looking forward to this game here because this is going to be a battle. Seahawks, Rams, happening in Seattle, the number one scoring offense, Rams, going against the number one scoring defense, Seahawks. So in their last 7 games for the Seattle Seahawks, the Rams were the only team to score 21 or more points. So I just know it's coming down to the wire. Week 11, these teams played each other, and the Rams ended up winning 21-19. Week 16, these teams played each other, and the Seahawks ended up winning 38-37. Both times they played each other, it's been absolute cinema. It's been a strategic game on both sides of the ball. So I'm looking forward to this game against the Seahawks and the Rams. But however, I got to go with the Seattle Seahawks to win this game, man. I think a lot of weight is going to come down to how well Sam Darnold plays. But even if Sam Darnold comes out and gives us a subpar game, I think he has the defense and the help on the offense to truly help get him over the edge and win this ball game. However, the Seahawks will win this game against the Rams as long as Matthew Stafford does not have the ball last. That's the only exception. Yes, Seahawks, great defense. They force a lot of turnovers. Number 1 this, number 3 this, number 5, top 5, all of these statistical categories on defense. And then offensively, they're really good too. But all of that goes out the window if Matthew Stafford has the ball last. Because if he gets a chance to go on a game-winning drive where his team needs a field goal or even a touchdown, I have confidence in Matthew Stafford that he will get it done. However, if the Rams can somehow beat the Seahawks and work the Seahawks in between that time of a last final game-winning drive, cool, so be it. I was wrong. And if the Seahawks can do the same, cool, so be it. I was wrong. But if it comes down to a game-winning drive, I got the Rams winning it, especially if the ball is in Matthew Stafford's hand. The Rams defense is no joke, so it's going to be tough for the Seahawks to get their guys active. And one thing I really like about the Seahawks, and the main reason I say I think the Seahawks will win unless Matthew Stafford has that opportunity for a game-winning drive in any way, is because the Seahawks somehow find a way to take away the other team's best players. Like whether it's a receiver, run game, they find a way to just limit guys to minimum use. I don't know what it is about them. And I think we've seen that on display. It was either the Week 16 or the Week 11 game. I have to go back and look at it. But I know Week 11, Sam Darnold, he had 4 interceptions. He was throwing it all over the place. He didn't have his best game. And that cannot happen if the Seahawks are going to win. That can't happen. But even then, with 4 interceptions, the Seahawks still only lost by 3 points. And then in the game they won, a couple weeks later in Week 16, Sam Darnold still had 2 interceptions, which wasn't really his best game. Kind of gave us a subpar performance in both of these games. But yet, he still ended up finding a way to win that game. So a lot of weight is going to be on Sam Darnold and how many mistakes he's making and all. But I think the Seahawks still just have a little bit more in there, a little bit better than the Rams in every aspect of football. And it's not by much. It's no disrespect to the Rams because this is a good team. And I think it will come down to the wire. And I hope it does. I think this will definitely be a classic game that we're about to witness. And I hope so. But, oh, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And it can go either way, but I'm going with the Seahawks to win, man. Whew. It's going to be interesting to see here. And it's gonna be tough, but I got Seahawks, man. Unless Matthew Stafford has an opportunity for a game-winning drive. Other than that, I think in between the lines, Seahawks will end up winning it. But it'll be close. It'll be close for sure. But look, man, we got some more stuff coming up. Atlanta Falcons fans, I'm a little disappointed. I'm disappointed in my Atlanta Falcons fans. So we're gonna discuss that in just a second. And we'll be back. And yeah, we'll be back. So it's halftime right now. And we'll take a quick break, sip some water, listen to a couple ads, and we'll be back. But it's halftime, so we'll be back in just a sec. All right, man, we got some news for the run, and let's jump into it. Hit us up on the voicemail line, 219-413-9405. And, of course, we'll play it back. If you hear anything you want to just leave a quick take on or just spread some information, whatever the case is, let us know. We'll play it back next episode. So some of the head coach options, just to kind of keep everybody updated on that, one of the very much anticipated coaches is off the board. Mike McDaniel, he was fired from the Miami Dolphins. A lot of people was talking about bringing him in as a head coach and possibly getting him as an offensive coordinator as well, since that is his specialty. However, he declined the Philadelphia Eagles. He did not go to the Detroit Lions. He did not go to the Cardinals. He didn't go to the Browns. He didn't go to the Raiders, Ravens, or anywhere else as an offensive coordinator. However, Mike McDaniel went to the LA Chargers, man. He went to the LA Chargers to be the offensive coordinator. So happy for him. And this will probably be really good for Justin Herbert. But, oh, man, it's a little crazy. I'm shocked about it. The most recent hiring of head coaches was Robert Saleh to the Tennessee Titans. He decided to take on the role as head coach. Other than that, the Falcons still have Stefanski. The Buffalo Bills, they fired Sean McDermott, so he'll probably get another opportunity somewhere as head coach. Giants picked up Harbaugh, and it's just these three right now that has solidified spots, which is the Giants, Falcons, and Titans. They wrapped up their head coach. Mike McDaniel was he was someone a lot of people wanted as head coach, but he just took the role as an offensive coordinator. Eagles still need an offensive coordinator. Lions did hire an offensive coordinator. Don't know the guy's name, but the news with the Eagles is a little weird because the position as offensive coordinator is now being said to be a very undesirable position. A lot of guys are declining the interview to even have the chance to go be an offensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles. And the rumors and the reports are saying that it's just a very undesired position because of the fans, because of the critique that they get no matter how well, how good, how bad they're doing, and also a little dysfunction. So these are multiple reports about the Eagles offensive coordinator. So I don't know who the hell is going to take that role. But honestly, it is a very tough situation because Eagles fans go hard. As soon as you start losing, they go hard. And it is a lot of dysfunction on that team right now. A lot of people probably don't know if they're going to keep A.J. Brown, if he's going to get traded, what the deal is there. There's also a lot of people who are up for free agency on that Eagles team. So you got to consider all aspects. So it'll be interesting to see what they do and who they hire to fill in that role as an offensive coordinator. Other than that, the Miami Dolphins, they did bring in a GM. They had a GM opening. The only other team right now with a GM opening is the Atlanta Falcons. They're still interviewing people and trying to figure it out. Something tells us all that by next Tuesday, we will know who that GM is. There's supposed to be a big press conference for the Falcons, but we still don't know who the lead candidate is. There's been multiple good names. 49ers GM has been in the mix. The Chicago Bears assistant GM is also in the mix. So we'll see what happens from there. However, one thing I can say, man, I'm a little disappointed in my Atlanta Falcons fans. So I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to try not to yell, man. I really don't like getting on here yelling. Like, I swear I don't, man. I know I do it a lot, and I can't help it sometimes. But I truly don't, want to get on here and just yell about how good this team, bad this team, whatever. I try not to. So I'm going to try my hardest to, cool it when I talk about these. I don't want to make fun of nobody either. I'm trying, man. These crazy Falcons fans, some of them. Now, here's the thing. As you all know, the Atlanta Falcons just recently hired Kevin Stefanski, former head coach of the Cleveland Browns. I was not okay with this hire. I was very upset about it. I thought it was a bad hire. I wanted other guys, Brian Flores, Clint Kubiak, Harbaugh, obviously when we had the chance. I mean, now there's Sean McDermott. There's a lot of other options out here. So I understand the frustration of not wanting Kevin Stefanski as head coach. However, that's done and over with. We can't do anything about it. Complaining isn't going to change anything. He just got hired. They're not going to listen to anybody talking about he's the wrong guy and this and that. The thing that's making me upset about that, it's not that, Stefanski was bad with the Browns. I understand the logic of being torn in between of him being bad with the Browns and Stefanski possibly still being a good coach with another team. I get that logic of why people are on separate sides of the spectrum in terms of Stefanski being a good coach. However, the one thing I am disappointed in is when people are trying to make this a culture conversation. When we're saying things like, Stefanski doesn't fit the culture as an Atlanta Falcon head coach. Like, he doesn't fit the culture and the right vibe to coach down in Atlanta. I get that, and that's just a little weird to me. Because one, that has nothing to do with football. Absolutely nothing. If a guy knows his X's and O's, he knows his X's and O's. Stefanski possibly knows. I mean, he clearly knows his X's and O's because he's two-time coach of the year. And I hate that statistic about him, but that is the case. And if anybody knows his X's and O's, it is him to an extent. So I understand that of him maybe not knowing that, but the culture conversation is a little bit stupid. And it's a weird obsession that every position has to be a right fit for the Falcons culture. Right now, outside of black culture in Atlanta, the Falcons don't have any culture relating to football. We have none. So it shouldn't be a conversation of this guy needs to fit the Falcons culture and Atlanta culture and all of it. No, to hell with that. Look, I'm sorry. I mean, I love black culture more than anybody and more than anything. But right now, it is not important that the head coach fits the culture when we have no culture. The only culture that matters in Atlanta right now, Atlanta Falcon football, is winning culture. And we don't have that. We don't have winning culture right now. And I promise my fellow Falcons fans, as soon as the Falcons start winning, and if the Falcons start winning, everything will be just fine in terms of Falcons culture. I guarantee everything will be cool. Everything will be fun. Everything will look cool. I promise you. I promise you. Everything that you could possibly think of will look good once the Falcons start winning. I guarantee it. I just know that's going to be the case. So the argument of he doesn't fit the culture and we should have hired Deion Sanders. Oh my gosh. What? How are, like, logically, why do Falcons fans think that Deion Sanders would have been the savior for a head coach? He's not even coaching in the NFL. And I mean, have you seen his record since Shador left? And that's another aspect. Why do you want Shador? This is a 5th round pick. I know what he did in college. I get it. I watched him every week. I understand that. But this is a 5th round pick. 5th round pick that you're talking about needs to come in and save the franchise. When we drafted Michael Penix in the 1st round and we watched Michael Penix throw dot after dot after dot before he was hurt. Yeah, he was a little inconsistent at times, but nonetheless, the man has a lot of promise. And if you make me choose between Michael Penix Jr. and Shador Sanders, I'm choosing Michael Penix Jr. 10 times out of 10 at the moment. So it's a stupid narrative. It's very stupid and it's insane. I don't know how the hell we go from winning football and wanting to win football games to wanting Deion Sanders and Shador Sanders in Atlanta. Do you understand that we would win 8 games for the next 2 seasons, and then after those 2 seasons, we'd be wanting Deion Sanders to get fired and Shador Sanders to get traded? It is the dumbest thing that the Falcons could possibly do, bringing Deion Sanders in and Shador. Like, what? What? Are you kidding me? It literally makes no sense. And look, I'm a Deion Sanders fan. Deion Sanders is part of the reason I wanted to play cornerback. He's part of the reason I wanted to play football. If we're being honest, he's part of the reason I even wanted, continue to be a Falcons fan and enjoyed being a Falcons fan. He's a big reason of why. For a lot of things. One of the greatest athletes of all time. You would never hear me say anything bad about Deion Sanders, the athlete, ever. No, one of the best without a single doubt. However, if he was to come coach Atlanta, one, he's not even coaching in the NFL, which is stupid. He would win 8 games. We'd ask for him to get fired after 2 seasons. If Shador was about to be there, we'd ask for him to get traded. And then outside of that, I really believe Deion Sanders, the obsession from a lot of Falcons fans, it really derives from his time with the Braves. Like, I get it. You know, Deion Sanders, hey, man, Atlanta Falcon football, he made it pop. I understand the impact of Deion Sanders. And I wasn't there to live in it, but I understand to the extent that some people was there around that time. I really do. I promise you, I hear you on that. And I understand that you were impacted in a certain way when Deion Sanders was there. But you got to understand, not all of that impact was just with the Atlanta Falcons, because he never hung up a banner for the Atlanta Falcons at all. The man was playing baseball and football, which is some legendary stuff, but he ain't hang up no banner in Atlanta Falcons at all, man. He was there for 5 seasons, got to the playoffs once. He ain't even spent his whole career in Atlanta. So it's silly to me when we act like, oh, he's the savior, or it's disrespectful that we're bringing in a coach that coached Shedeur Sanders to Atlanta Falcons because he decided to not start a 5th round draft pick. Just hear me out. Hear me out. In what world would any head coach start their 5th round draft pick? Hear me out. I understand there might have been some things that went into play and that came in effect when Shedeur Sanders was drafted and why he got pushed back further than what a lot of people thought. But in what world would a 5th round draft pick start over Joe Flacco in a pick that was way earlier? I just don't understand how or in what world that would even happen. And then a lot of people get upset because they say, oh, well, this is Deion Sanders' town. This is Deion Sanders' organization, whatever. This is his city, whatever, all of that. Okay, cool. Yeah, he also played for the Braves, and some could even argue that the Braves had a lot more success than the Falcons at that time, because when I looked at their history, 5 seasons in Atlanta, he only made the playoffs once. And we didn't win no damn Super Bowl. Deion Sanders ain't spent his whole career there at all. Now, when I look at Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders, yes, there might have been some frustrating things. Stefanski ain't had the best situation for quarterbacks at that time. It might have been a lot of Browns ownership that was shaking things up as well. But when I see it in press conferences, Shedeur Sanders ain't had no problem with Kevin Stefanski. And I'll pull up the audio. That way I can play it for you all. Shedeur Sanders didn't have a problem with Kevin Stefanski as head coach. There was no issues from what he said. And in fact, I quote, he said he made him better in a lot of ways. So I just don't get it, man. It's silly to me. This whole narrative of, oh, the Falcons got to bring in this dude. I get if you don't like Stefanski, but not liking Stefanski for the fact that he didn't start Shedeur Sanders, who's a 5th round draft pick, is just freaking idiotic. It's freaking idiotic. I can understand if you don't like Stefanski because you don't think his statistics line up with a good head coach, or you don't think he has the X's and O's to take the Falcons to the next level. I get that. I understand why some people are divided on that. Hell, I didn't want Stefanski to be the coach of the Atlanta Falcons either. But saying we should have traded for Shedeur and brought Shedeur and, oh, Stefanski, he's going to be a bad coach because he didn't want to start Shedeur and all of it. He did Shedeur bold and, oh, well, he this, and it's stupid. It's silly. And it's stupid. It's stupid. Especially when people bring in the conversations of the Falcons should have brought Deion Sanders instead of Matt Ryan, or the Falcons should have brought Michael Vick to be the head coach. And what are we talking about? What are we talking about? It's stupid. It's stupid. I'm sorry, man. These guys are legends on the field, legendary athletes. But that don't mean that somebody can be able to cook up X's and O's and be able to make something happen. I mean, honestly, I trust the 2-time coach of the year. I hate that statistic, but I trust the 2-time coach of the year over Mike Vick coaching my team. The athlete, give me Mike Vick every single time. The athlete, give me Deion Sanders over Matt Ryan every single time. But I don't. It's stupid, man. It's stupid. And the fact that people keep bringing Deion Sanders into this when he's not even coaching in the NFL is blowing my mind, man. It's really blowing my mind. Really blowing my mind. I was trying not to yell. I don't think I did a good job at that. There's a lot of staffing updates. I'm not gonna go through them all today. I'll bring them at some point. But obviously, Kevin Stefanski's there. The good thing about this is Jeff Albrecht is staying on staff, defensive coordinator. He'll be there. Bill Callahan, who's a legendary offensive coach, offensive line coach, is joining the Atlanta Falcons staff. It's also said that Kevin Stefanski is bringing his offensive coordinator from the Cleveland Browns to be the offensive coordinator at the Atlanta Falcons. So that's another thing that's going on. And before I leave you guys, I got to play this Shedeur Sanders clip so you can hear it and understand, like, it's levels to this, bro. Like, it's really levels to this. And I'm on record saying I didn't like the way Stefanski handled the Shedeur thing, but it's really levels to this, bro. So here's Shedeur Sanders on Kevin Stefanski and his relationship with head coach Kevin Stefanski at that time.
Just Coach Kev, he been real tough. He been tough, you know, and it's good. I think I grew and I learned a lot from him. I think this week we had a conversation just about things, you know what I'm saying, just about things in general. And I feel like, you know, we grew to understand each other. You know, we share different things, you know, that we both will go through, you know. So I know he wanted this win, and I know he wants every win, but I know this one means a lot. And I don't know. I wish we all, like, as a team, and I wish everybody could have got more personal, you know, within this last year. Quinshon even came over my house a couple of days ago, you know, and like I said, in that dark time, he came over my house. And just talking, like, bro, like, speaking life into me, and that's what I needed. And I'm truly thankful for him, and his presence definitely is missed.
So, yeah, man, I just, you know, I go back and forth. I don't know what these Falcons fans want, but it's insane, bro. It really is insane. And I try not to let certain stuff get to me. I try and be cool about it. But I struggle, man. Because this don't make no damn sense. Some of this stuff don't make sense that people be saying, man. Anyway, that's all I got. So I'm going to leave y'all on a positive note. The positive note is just going to be step out on faith, man. Whether that's believing in your team, whether that's believing in God, whether that's believing in anything that you're putting your mind to, just step out on faith, man. I'm going to just leave it at that. Trust, believe, and look, that's going to be the positive note for today. Other than that, that's all I got for y'all. So I appreciate you for tuning in, kicking it, listening to me yell, even though I was trying not to. I really don't be wanting to yell, but we'll be back, man, later on next week, actually. And yeah, man, these great games coming on. So yeah, we'll be back later on this next week. You enjoy all these football games. Enjoy it. Have a great time watching. And yeah, I see y'all next week, and so on and so on and so on.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.